Channel. I'm Gabby.
I'm Charlotte.
And this is the 2025 Kia Sportage SX Hybrid. And if you love the look and maybe even the drive of the Kia Sportage, but wish it was a little bit more powerful and a little bit more fuel efficient, boy, do we literally have the car for you.
This is the Sportage Hybrid SX. It's the top trim, and it is going to be priced for you guys at $44,495 Canadian plus your fees and taxes. Girl. And today we're doing a full live walkthrough of it, so we're going to walking you through the powertrain, the efficiency, which is what I know you're here for, the exterior, the interior, the tech, the safety. If there's anything you want to know about this vehicle, we are going to talk about it for you guys today, and we're going to do it all live.
Yeah, so full and complete walkthrough done live stream for you guys. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
All right, and of course with our daily live streams, we always dedicate a little bit of time towards the end of the video to go over your live questions. So if at any point throughout this video, whether it be the powertrain, the interior, the technology, and you have a question, let us know in the live chat box. I promise we're not ignoring you guys. We'll save it for the end of the video. That being said, if you're watching this in the future and you have any questions, let us know in the comments because we do read those too. Let's start off with the front end. So of course we have today's vehicle showcased in Snow White Pearl, which is probably our most popular color choice for this vehicle. The SX model is also our most popular trim level and priced at its fantastic price point, just under $50,000 Canadian. I think it works pretty good. Now this vehicle has a lot going for it that makes it so amazing, and not just because it's a hybrid. Let's start off with the front end and the headlamps. When you move up to the SX trim level, you're still going to get full LEDs, but now your main headlamp unit is going to be a projector style beam. So this just means while it's still bright and sharp, it's just going to be a little bit sharper and a little bit more focused on where you need it most. So there's not going to be too much over glare or beam. It is projected exactly where you need it. Now your daytime running light, that beautiful boomerang style one, is still LED, and this is actually going to be the last year you can get this headlamp style, and this Sportage style for that matter. Your daytime running lights and positioning turn signal lights, all full LEDs. Now when you move up to the SX trim, you also get a couple more design cues thanks to the fact that we now have a bit of a satin chrome, so you'll see those pieces throughout here, as well as gloss black finishes. So there's definitely a lot more blacked out elements, if that makes sense, but it's not overly done. I mean, our Kia emblems are still our typical design. We still have a lot of light, so it's a mix of everything. We have forward parking sensors. That's going to start on this trim level here. And not only do we have the sensors, but we also have a forward-facing camera. So the camera is just centered off right in the blacked out grille. Anytime something's picked up from these forward sensors, so think maybe a garage door or another vehicle while you're parking, it'll trigger your camera to show you just how much space you're working with when parking this vehicle in tighter situations. Super great if this is a vehicle that's a couple size classes up than your current one. It helps you get used to driving and parking a bigger vehicle like this. More styling cues, we have a little bit more gloss black along the bottom, and then as we work our way towards the right side or your left, you'll notice we have an off-centered radar plate. So when you move up to the SX trim level, you still carry over the advanced forward collision avoidance assist, but you do get an additional safety function called highway drive assist. Essentially what it is it's very similar to the smart cruise control in the sense that it'll monitor and maintain your following distance from the car ahead of you, but it's also going to know the speed limit of the highway that you're on, if there's any upcoming bends or changes in the road, and we'll put all those inputs together to create one driver function that's completely seamless and just takes a lot of the, I guess, fatigue off you as a driver. So it'll steer for you, it'll maintain following distance, and it'll change with elements as well too, so any sort of different changes in speed limit. Now let's pop the hood and talk powertrain because that's really where the hybrid shines. Of course, actually I should say one of our most commonly asked questions with the hybrid is how long does it take to charge? And in this hybrid, it doesn't charge at all. At least you don't have to plug it in or charge it yourself. The vehicle will do all of its battery charging on its own thanks to the engine running or through regenerative braking. And I'll explain that a little bit more once we pop the hood. So powering your vehicle is a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder. It's going to give you 227 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. Now that is a healthy horsepower and torque increase from the gasoline model. So if you didn't know, the gasoline model is outfitted with a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, only producing 187 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque. So we're in the 200 zone for both horsepower and torque now with the hybrid. But it's also more efficient. And why is that? Well, it's because this smaller engine is actually tied to a 270 volt electric motor. So we have a lithium ion polymer battery in this vehicle, an electric motor that helps propel it, giving you a blend of efficiency thanks to its two separate powertrains. When you're driving on the highway, you will utilize your gas engine, but you'll also have power kicked in from the electric motor. If you're driving low speeds or lots of stop and go type conditions, the vehicle will largely be in EV mode. So those high consumption scenarios will be done without wasting a drop of gas for the most part. Of course, if it's very cold outside and you're cranking the heat, or vice versa, it's the summer and you're cranking the AC, the vehicle will kick in power from the gas engine as needed, but it's nothing as draining as operating a gas car at all times. Now let's talk wheels. So for our wheels, we have a beautiful 18-inch alloy. These are exclusive to the SX trim level. They have a nice, they're not black, although on camera they might look a little bit black. They are kind of a graphite color, so nice dark gray, charcoal if you will, with an all-season tire. This vehicle is also outfitted with all-wheel drive. Kia utilizes an all-wheel drive system that has a bias towards the front. So front-wheel drive, bias, all-wheel drive. Essentially what that means is if it's a regular day, the sun is shining and you're driving on pavement, the vehicle will primarily be in front-wheel drive mode unless you're starting from a standstill or launching your vehicle. Then it'll kick in power from the rear. You do, however, in the interior have a dial mode where you can select different drive or terrain modes, and the different terrain modes will switch it between snow mode, mud mode, sand mode, and each of those will adjust the torque distribution. You have nice big brakes up at the front, so ventilated disc brakes. Beautiful wheel design like I mentioned, and it is exclusive to the trim level. Surrounding your wheels, you have a nice bit of gloss black with an indicator or marker light, and you'll also notice we have a bit of a side sensor, side parking sensor. For our mirrors, you do get body color. They are not power folding. We get asked that all the time, with a side marker indicator and a blind spot view camera. So if you haven't seen Kia's 360 camera system already, essentially it gives you a full bird's eye view of whatever's happening around your vehicle, but it also takes it up a notch. If you are driving and you go to indicate a turn, left or right, it'll show you the corresponding camera so you can see vehicles in your blind spot, if it's a cyclist in your blind spot, or even simply the curb while you're parallel parking. It is a great function to have. You also get proximity entry, so you'll notice that little button on the door handle. As long as you press that and the key's on you, it'll unlock and lock for you. Roof rails. Roof rails. Sorry, you guys, it's Monday. It's been a rough day. I'm all over the place.
The coffee that we spilled.
Yeah, we spilled coffee all over the floor. It went all over our gimbal.
Sorry, the coffee I spilled. I won't blame Gabby in this.
It's all I smell right now, too. This entire video base stinks like coffee. All right, so for our rails, we also have that gloss black finish, and you'll see that translate almost entirely throughout the vehicle, even this pillar towards the rear. I'm really happy it is black on this vehicle and not silver like in some of our gas models, something that our hybrids typically usually have a lighter design element to them, so the dark I think looks very good on the SX model. You'll also notice it's surrounding your taillight housing. LED tail lamps as well too, so that's actually an upgrade from the EX model below it that has a mix of LEDs and bulbs. This is full LED. Your Kia emblem, just like what we see up at the front, nicely stamped into the body panel, so it's 2D, not 3D. It looks quite nice. And one more thing I'll point out before I actually pop open the tailgate is the fact that we do have rear parking sensors. You'll see them on your back bumper there. So that'll of course do the same as what we saw up at the front. If you're backing up your vehicle towards a wall or another car, it'll beep at you to let you know. It'll also let you know if there's snow on your bumper, so make sure you wipe the snow off your car before you drive. All right, let's open the liftgate. This is going to be your introductory trim level and the only trim level, because there's only 2 hybrids, that has a power liftgate. It's also proximity based, so as long as the key's on you, you can walk up to it and have it power open for you. If it's a bit too tall for you, you can adjust it to your preferred height setting by pressing and holding this button until it beeps. Let's do it. There we go. So now that's our new saved height setting. When it comes to cargo space on the Sportage, it shines. So this is a 5-seater vehicle, and you can utilize all 5 seats and still have all of this space. Now you do have the option to recline the rear seats a little bit, but it doesn't take up much room. You do, under the floorboard, have a real compact spare tire. So huge, just peace of mind to have, especially if you are commuting with this vehicle. The plug-in hybrid will not get a spare tire, so it's nice to see it on the traditional hybrid. There's still a fairly good amount of space on either side as well too, so whether it be a washer fluid, a snow brush, ice skates, whatever you want to put back here and not have in your cargo area.
Every Canadian's winter essential.
Yeah, ice skates. You know when the roads get really bad, you have to resort to your ice skates? Yeah, me too. Anyway, and then also in the back, you'll notice that we do have latches on either side to knock down either your left or right rear seat, or both of them at the same time if you'd like. Each of those seats also have car seat tethers, and you do have LED lights inside here as well too. So quite nice to see, quite nice to have. Let's close this up, and I'll talk a little bit about more real-world efficiency. So this vehicle, it has a slightly smaller fuel tank than the straight gasoline Sportage. So let's summarize everything. It's got more horsepower than the normal Sportage, the gas Sportage. It's got a smaller tank. It's a little bit more expensive, yeah, but it's also better on fuel. enter hybrid. So this vehicle has a 52-liter tank compared to the 54. However, when you fill this vehicle up with fuel, you'll notice that you have more distance or more range than the gas model. That means this vehicle can work a whole lot further with a whole lot less fuel. Shouldn't say a whole lot less, 2 liters less of fuel. So nice to see, and the fuel is just regular unleaded, so you don't have to get premium for this vehicle. It's not going to cost you more at the gas pump. Slightly shorter time spending filling up your gas and a whole lot more time driving your vehicle, which is always nice to see. I did also say that this vehicle will utilize regenerative braking. However, if you've noticed some of our newer videos, things like the Kia Sorento hybrid, you were able to adjust the amount of regen braking via the, I was about to say brake calipers,
the paddle
shifters. So on this vehicle, the paddle shifters are simply going to be for actually downshifting or upshifting your gears, your transmission. It's not going to do anything for your regenerative braking system. However, when you go to utilize your brakes or allow your vehicle to just slow down on its own going downhill, that will be utilizing some regenerative braking. So you will still get the benefits, you just can't manually select how much regen you would like to use. All right, shall we take a look inside?
Let's take a look on the interior. Okay. All right, so I think before we go and dive into everything that this vehicle has on the interior, I'll share a little bit more about some of the safety features it has. So we know about the active safety that we've got on the exterior of the vehicle, but also what happens with the interior in the event of a collision. So this vehicle, it does have 8 different airbags. The IAHS does rate it as their top safety pick in the event of a collision, and then also the NHTSA gives it a 5-star collision rating, not crash collision rating, in the event of a collision. So this vehicle does perform really, really well on the safety side of things. And for interior safety, so you still see things like safe exit assist, or safe exit warning, sorry, and then also your rear occupant alert, which will let you know which rear seatbelts are in use, and it'll also alert you before leaving the cabin in case it does detect anything in the back seat, as well as if you've left anything in the wireless phone charger. Spoiler alert, it's got a wireless phone charger. But great interior safety features too, and we'll get to explore a couple more of the exterior ones as we take a look at our screens. All right, tech. Let's talk about the door. I guess this isn't really tech, but look how great this door is. We have some really fantastic detailing going on here.
Okay,
Very good.
I'm gonna assume it cut everything you just said, so let's say that again.
All right, let's take a look at the door, and if you guys can't hear us or can't see us, please let us know. But some really fantastic detailing. We have some great satin chrome on the interior. I think looks really, really good. And we also have a great mix of a little bit of piano black with some soft touch synthetic leather. And for tech, you will notice that we have integrated memory seat, which is one of my favorite features because you can actually save 2 per user profile. So a lot more than just 2. You can save about 6 overall. You have electronically controlled mirrors. Your windows are going to be one touch with obstacle detection and regular automatic windows for everyone else. And to top it all off, we have a Harmon Kardon premium sound system with 8 speakers in this vehicle. So 2 more than what we see on the base.
Sorry, I was just looking at the fuel gauge.
Yeah.
So I mentioned smaller fuel tank, but at a full tank, we're expecting 752 kilometers of range. That is better than the, just over
600 is what I got when I personally drove a Sportage, and that was in 2023. 2023 to 2024 is when I drove mine. All right, let's take a look at some more details. Down below, you can see that we have some nice garnish, you know the word I'm trying to say, on the side, but also our pedals. They are an aluminum pedal and a little bit more of an enhanced look. They look really good too. Over down here for the seat, you will notice we have a powered driver's seat. You can, of course, adjust the height, the leg room, your backrest, and then it's also going to include lumbar support, so 2-way lumbar support. So very nice and comfortable, and great having so many different settings when you have that memory seats, so you don't have to fiddle with your seat every single time. These seats, I will mention, they are a quilted synthetic leather, so very nice. The insert is a quilted part, and again, it feels very good, feels very luxe. Over here on this side, you'll notice our vents match the boomerangs that we see on the front for our headlights. We again see some great detailing here. Your brightness adjuster, traction control, tailgate, and I saw a question asking if you ever need to jump start a hybrid. Essentially, you have your 12-volt battery reset, and that's pretty much going to act as a booster pack for the vehicle. So if for any reason that you can't start it because the battery has died, if you're able to press that, put your foot on the brake, put it back into accessory mode, it'll be able to work for you. You also have your electronic parking brake. All right, do you want to come around?
Awesome, yeah. I didn't mention the transmission on this vehicle, so it's a 6-speed automatic transmission, and you do have paddle shifters. Paddle shifters are exclusive for shifting your vehicle, so not regen braking if you missed it earlier. Sportage, love the look of it. It's fun, it's sporty, and it's great on gas. I didn't mention the fuel consumption, so it's got a 2-liter smaller tank than the gas model, and it's rated at 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers.
That's pretty impressive.
Combined.
That's really impressive.
Do you want to hear a fun nerd fact?
I do.
On the city, in the city, it's rated at 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers. In the highway, it's rated at 6.3. So combined, 6.2.
Thank you for the math lesson.
But isn't it strange? Most vehicles are rated much better on the highway. This one's rated slightly worse on the highway.
Well, when you're utilizing something like regenerative braking,
yeah,
makes sense.
Exactly.
Where you get some more power back. All right, tell me about your seat.
So my seat is powered, just like Charlotte's, except we do not have lumbar control. It's just the backrest and the height of the seat.
But really nice to see a powered height adjustment on a passenger seat. And it's the same synthetic leather. It's also going to be heated and ventilated, so very comfortable for whoever is riding in the passenger seat or in the driver's seat. All right, I want to talk a little bit about what we have for the steering wheel. It is leather wrapped, it's fully heated, Kia logo, of course, in the center, and then a split between our driving and our media controls. Over here, you're able to, of course, utilize things like your cruise control, your lane keep, your lane follow, all of that good stuff. And then also you're able to use this notes icon to cycle between our multi-trip computer in the center. So let me show you. You can see your safety features, which ones are enabled, your attention alert or attention level as well. This will show you how the vehicle responds to you, as well as idle mode. So this is a really good indicator, and personally I like to have it on this screen when I'm driving a hybrid, because it basically shows the energy flow when you're pulling from the electric motor, when you're pulling from the engine, or anywhere in between, as well as when you're building up that power band as well. So very cool to see it, and also better understand how the powertrain works and how you can best utilize it on your daily commute. You also have integrated navigation. And then from here, you'll be able to see when you're using front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, your tire pressure, and then of course engine temperature as well. You'll notice instead of a traditional tachometer, we have our power band here, which of course, like I said, will fill up with that regenerative braking. Still have a speedometer, and I want to show 12-volt battery reset. There we go. See? Impressive. I want to show the drive modes real quick, actually, because with them is not only is your cluster going to change, but also basically the type of hardware that you're rocking is going to change. So when you put it into sport mode, you are going to have a traditional tachometer, and then when you put it back into smart mode, it's going to flip back into that power band, but you will notice that each of the displays looks a little bit different. So kind of fun, and you can set it to your preferred in your screen too. This is a 12.3-inch screen, which is fantastic, and everything is fully digitized and able to be changed essentially. You have those paddle shifters like Abby mentioned. They are not dual purpose. They are just for the purpose of shifting through your gears. And then you still have your lighting stock and wiper stock, which is pretty straightforward. Your multimedia screen, it's 12.3 inches as well. From here, you have exclusive icons such as your hybrid screen, which is going to give you a bigger graph of what we see in the center here, should you choose. And then also you can see some specs for yourself, like your fuel economy when you're using, yeah, I know, really great right now.
31 liters
for a vehicle that hasn't been driven. So good. Yeah, so that's for a vehicle that has not been driven. And then from here, of course, we'll pop into setup real quick too, because I want to show you guys a couple things in there. So you will have your driver's assistance. You can adjust any of those features on the exterior of the vehicle, like Abby mentioned, and then also for your eco vehicle. So typically you would see some type of adjustment for the regenerative braking here. That's not the case with this vehicle, but you can do your coasting guide. However, this is only going to work when you're using the integrated navigation. And basically it's just going to let you know when you should ease your foot off of the accelerator to help prioritize fuel efficiency. However, because it only works with integrated navigation, and if you're like me and you like to use your phone's nav, using that guide that I showed you in the center, that screen, is actually really going to help you with that purpose for understanding, again, how the vehicle is performing. So that's a little tip and trick that I like to use too. Now let's go to lights real quick. We already have a premium sound system, but did you know that we're rocking with interior ambient lighting too? I went to the wrong thing. There we go. So from here, you can also link it to your drive modes. You have some preset, but then you can also do custom colors. So I think I'll set it to pink. I'm in a pink mood today. And it is right around your shift-by-wire, all in this center area too, and I think that it looks fantastic. Now, right here in the center, you'll notice we have a switchable infotainment and climate control cluster. Now, if you're not a fan of this, you do have a climate screen up here, so you can access all of your climate controls, as well as steering wheel mounted controls when it comes to things for your media. So volume, channel surfing, all of that good stuff. And you still have a driver-only function to focus that climate control on just the driver's area because this is still an eco or green vehicle. Very nice to see everything there. You have this area, oh, it's a push-up this time, which is going to house your wireless phone charger, USB for connectivity. You have wired Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, USB-C, and also a 12-volt too. Oh, it's pushed down. I always forget with these ones. Push to start, shift by wire gear shift as I mentioned, and over here it's going to be your seat controls or seat comfort controls, so heated and ventilated seats and your heated steering wheel. You still have your downhill braking assist, auto hold, your parking sensors, parking camera, and then your dial to switch between your drive modes and also those 3 terrain modes, snow, mud, and sand. I'll show you guys your parking camera. This will come up as the vehicle is put into reverse. Also, if any of the sensors detect anything, it's going to pull up a view for the relevant camera. So from here, you can see your rear view camera there, the mirrors, and then also this full 360 picture, which I think looks really good. I'm going to quickly turn the vehicle on. Actually, I'll do that at the end. Yeah, I'll do that at the end. Cup holders, they are adjustable, so lots of space and can fit lots of different sized drinks. Decent amount of hidden space when it comes to your center console. And up top you do have a sunroof. You have LED interior lighting as well. And you do have Kia Connect, so you do have 5 years unlimited roadside assistance. It does come with all of your Kia vehicles, but you do have the control or quick access control there. But Kia Connect is Kia's telematics system, which allows you to precondition the cabin, use location services, all of that good stuff from the comfort of your phone. Your mirror, ECM with HomeLink. So there you go. Key fob, I'll show that real quick.
ECM also means auto dimming.
Yes, thank you. Sometimes I forget and I need to not use acronyms. Could you imagine if we did this all in acronyms? That would be awful.
Yeah.
Let's look at your key fob. You have lock, unlock, your tailgate control, and panic. But from here, you're also able to remote start the vehicle from your key fob, and you have remote smart park. So you can actually turn the vehicle on and bring it forward or backwards from just your key fob. No driver needs to be in here, which is pretty crazy to see. And it's definitely handy when you're in a tight parking spot. Believe me, I've tried it that way. All right, now I actually will turn the vehicle on, and I'll show you guys the blind view monitor. Notice how it's silent because we're operating in EV mode right now, but as you put your signal on, you'll notice that it brings up that live feed from either of the cameras. Now, keep in mind, this is not a replacement for shoulder checking or doing a proper blind spot check, but it is nice to have peace of mind, especially for cyclists or motorists who may be on the road.
All right. You know I always got to say it. Oh, firm door handle.
All right, I'm definitely gonna adjust the amount of recline on these seats. This is as far as I go back. That's a little too comfortable for me. I'm gonna make it a little bit more comfortable. But again, great use of the rear space, great rear amenities. Love the panoramic sunroof. We have the same quilted material for our main seats, and these 2 main seats are also going to be heated. So very comfortable back here too, and we have the same design elements on the door. Some piano black, some what looks to be like faux carbon fiber, and also the Harmon Kardon sound system. And nice keys, not keys, door handles that look like keys. You have dual pockets. You have a little hook here, which is perfect for a charger because you have integrated USB-Cs. You have rear vents for ventilation. You also have under the seat heating ducts. And then down below, another storage pocket. This looks high because there is a rug here and it just hasn't fully flattened out. So here's what your middle seat is going to look like. Decent amount of space. Definitely comfortable. Not quite as cushy, of course, because we have that drop-down armrest than these 2 seats, but great amount of headroom despite having a sunroof, and honestly, even a decent amount of legroom too, especially if your friends like you and will let you use some of theirs. But I am a big fan of the Sportage. I drove one, like I said, and was definitely able to accommodate taller passengers in the back seat too. All right, I think that's really it. Oh, bag holder and coat rack, if you'd like. They are also adjustable, these front headrests.
Got a question. How come some hybrids have 12-volt battery resets and some don't? So great question. It depends on where the 12-volt location is, because this vehicle doesn't have a 12-volt in its typical spot, so it just makes a lot of sense. Some of our hybrids also have 12 volts underneath the seat or in just strange places, cargo area. It's just something that's easy. Our hybrid technology also allows it too. So essentially, if it senses that the battery is being discharged, it can turn your vehicle off by its own and still preserve enough energy to be able to reset its 12 volt, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's just a safeguard, I guess, the vehicle goes through. All right. Let's see.
Let's see if we've got any questions. Some really nice design details. Yeah, the Sportage has always been a really good looking vehicle. I think that this redesign really set the bar too.
I agree.
I think it looks really nice.
How much horsepower? 227 horsepower. 258
So
pound-feet.
definitely an improvement.
Yeah, it's not, I guess it's pretty often actually. A lot of people don't exactly, especially if you never had a hybrid before, people don't think hybrid in performance or power, but most vehicles, if there's a hybrid configuration, the hybrid's likely going to have more horsepower, more torque than the naturally aspirated or straight gas version, which is something a lot of people don't think about.
Even in your supercars.
Yes.
Hybrid or plug-in hybrid.
Yep.
Is there wireless Android Auto? No, there is not for this vehicle because it has the bigger screens. However, on the refresh that is coming later this year, we will see wireless Apple CarPlay on the Sportage. We'll also see a piano black delete.
Yes, that's true.
This vehicle, I saw a question about towing capacity. It's for a Carnival. It's not about this one, but I'll mention the towing capacity. For this one, it is up to 2,000 pounds when properly equipped.
So that's 227 actual horses in comparison. What do you mean by that? Because just the gas engine does not generate 227 horsepower. That is in combination with the electric motor. Off-road trim in the Sportage. So when we were at the LA Auto Show, we saw their X Pro version. They had a plug-in hybrid X Pro. We do not currently have, like we have an X-Line and X-Line Limited for the gas models. Nothing as of yet for hybrids and plug-in hybrids. So we're curious to see for the refresh 2026 if it's got it.
I think it would probably make sense. We see it on the Tucson end of things with their XRT.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that Kia adopted as well for the X Pro.
Our naming platforms are also typically different than your guys's.
Yeah.
I know you guys get an SX Prestige, things like that. Here, we don't. We just get the SX.
DT UK said something really interesting, and this is something I find super interesting. The US Canada Sportage is noticeably longer than the European version. Yes. So this actually has a significantly longer wheelbase, and then I guess I'm kind of in the way. Instead of having the third window for you guys, it's pretty much just body panel. So yeah, it's definitely a lot bigger. That's something I noticed when I saw one there.
Sorry, I don't know why I was twisting my head like that.
Yeah, there is an X line.
All right.
I'm just looking for more questions. I realize I'm just standing here silently.
Can you drive only an electrical or only the hybrid plug-in? So the plug-in hybrid allows you to get actual rated range of all electric driving. However, if you, let's say you plug it to get 40 kilometers of range. If you're absolutely smashing the gas pedal with the heat all the way cranked up and it's negative 10-degree weather, the gas engine's gonna kick in. The car needs it too. So you're asking for too much power from not enough source, essentially, and the vehicle will supply power from the engine as well as the electric motor. This vehicle has a much smaller battery pack, so you can't actually store drivable range in the vehicle. However, if you're doing very low-speed driving, let's say driving around a parking lot looking for a spot, or even just sitting in stop-and-go traffic, chances are it's going to be an EV-only mode, whereas if you were in a gas car, straight gas, that would just be idling. Yep, nothing. So this vehicle is definitely more efficient in those kinds of settings.
Does it have a model with a sensor behind the handles? So I'm not too sure what exactly you're asking. If you're asking if it has proximity, so it does have a proximity key with a black pad on the door handles. Here, I'll take the camera over actually. Sorry, I'm gonna turn this around. So it does have a proximity entry. So I can press this with the key just being on my person to lock and unlock the vehicle. However, it does not have like digital key 2, which is the more advanced, which is proximity, where if you just touch it, a little indent here, it'll open for you. But yes, you can unlock it, basically keyless entry, which is very nice. One of my favorite convenience features, especially in the winter, when you never know which layer your keys may be in. Or, guys, I have a story for you on what happened to me this morning. So I drive a Kia Sorento X Pro, and it has digital key on it. And my wonderful, loving, amazing husband, he was driving my car yesterday, and he took my keys in his jacket, and he took them all the way to work with him today, and he works out of town, about like 45 minutes away. So I had no keys. My spare key I leave here at the dealership because it's a demo. So luckily for me, I had digital key set up on my phone, so I was able to unlock my vehicle, start my car just from my phone, and make it to work on time. So anyways, that's an aside, but just letting you know.
I feel like the Elantra N-Line should offer a manual transmission because its main competitor, the Civic Si, offers manual. Yeah, no, I think it makes sense, but I think the vast majority of drivers would prefer just a regular automatic transmission. Manuals are very much dead where we live, unless it's on a sports car.
So, like the Elantra N has it.
Yeah, if you're buying an Elantra N-Line, I think that's a vehicle, like, I know I would commute in that. That's a vehicle that I'm getting more performance. I'm having a vehicle that's a little bit more fun, but it's not completely sacrificed on fuel economy. Yep. I would be driving that to and from work, and I do not want to be in stop and go traffic in a manual transmission, that's for sure. But something like the Elantra N, where there's a lot more race readiness, I see a manual being fitting for that.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I think if a manual is really the make or break, just get the Elantra N.
Sorry, what was I was looking at? Minimum ground clearance is 210 millimeters. I saw a question asking about ground clearance. Okay.
What is the next car? What can you show us? We kind of...
Girl.
We wish we knew what
we wish we knew. We pick every single day. We're like, what do we have? What happened to the Kia Stinger? Why did Kia remove it? That's a great question, and we asked the same thing. But I think the Kia Stinger, so I loved that car. When was it officially discontinued?
2023, I believe, was the last model year for it.
Yeah. So I believe that vehicle very much was a halo project, meaning it's something like an engineering or something different than what the brand typically does to kind of give the engineers a project they can really sink their teeth into and change a little bit of brand perception. And so once the Stinger kind of came into play, that vehicle was very widely well received. With that, ushered in the new logo change, which changed brand perception. And then from there, you just see that Kia is continuing to introduce more expensive vehicles. They're definitely a leader in the EV industry in terms of tech, especially when it comes to 800-volt architecture. But they just have new halo projects coming out, or that one just kind of came to a gradual end. However, I miss it desperately. That was a lot of useless information, but there you go.
What is the cargo space on the Sportage? So it's just under 35 cubic feet behind the second row. It's 34.5 cubic feet.
Where I get information about hybrid to learn more, the Kia Hyundai channel.
Japan Gaming said, I think Gabby fits with the Kia Stinger. Kia Stinger is the best engine, and they had to remove it. I love the Kia Stinger. It was an awesome car. I love a sedan. I love a big sedan. I love a powerful sedan. They took away all my sedans.
Yeah.
We have the K4 now, and that's it. Which I still love the K4, but I miss the Stinger very much.
King Bob said, what is the price? It's $44,495. Yeah. That's the MSRP.
As on, just while we're on the topic of the Stinger, I guess, the G70 has the 3.3 turbo that replaced the Stinger. Yeah, so it's same powertrain, but completely different car. I mean, no, it's the same car, but it's completely different layout. The vehicle looks, interior, exterior, everything-wise is completely different. But I know what you mean. Okay. Any info on the EV5 range? So no official number release, but there's two different battery options. So a shorter range and a longer range. From my understanding, it's going to be a more affordable EV as well, too.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to see it. Overworking 33 minutes.
Yes,
We
better
should
go
have
then.
today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions about the vehicle or if there's just something you want to say about the Sportage Hybrid.
Yeah, we think it's
any
pretty
car.
sweet.
All right. Take care.
On that note, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Smooches.